So good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for making it here this evening. It's the last quarter town hall for 2022, and we wanted to make it special, hence why we waited a little bit this quarter. And the reason, of course, is we have, after a while, after 3 years, we have the visit from our senior management from Schindler. जो भी लोग ऑनलाइन देख रहे हैं सबको नमस्ते. हेलो एवरीवन फ्रॉम ऑल द ब्रांचेस एंड एरियाज. आज एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट टाउन हॉल है क्योंकि हमारे साथ सीनियर मैनेजमेंट आया है 3 साल के बाद. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू welcome all of you and welcome our guests today. So I will be introducing them to all of you soon. Mr. Napoli, our chairman and CEO, sends his apologies. He had to leave India yesterday evening for an emergency. So on his behalf, we will have, of course, other MKL members with us today to talk to all of you. We will also be taking questions. So please share your questions, Pranshu, only to you or in the chat box. In the chat box, if you're logging in live, you would be able to post your question in the chat box, and we will aim to answer all the questions. You can ask any question openly, and हम obviously उसके reply देंगे. So on that note, let me get started. I would like to first of all welcome our guests from Switzerland. We have our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Paulo Campagna. Paulo, just say. You will be hearing from Paulo today after me. He will be talking to all of you. We have our Head of Human Resources for Schindler Worldwide, Mr. Tobias Talen. We also have amidst us another new member to the Schindler family worldwide, our new Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Carla de Giesler. And we have all of you here to welcome them. So let us welcome them with a big round of applause. I want to start with sharing a story with all of you, a story that many of you may know, those who have been in the company for a long time. And for those who have joined new, this is a very important story that you should know about. This is the story of this company, the story of Schindler and the story of Schindler India. Next year, Schindler India will celebrate 25 years. And the year after, Schindler World celebrates 150 years. Schindler India was started off in a little hotel room in Delhi, a greenfield operation. एक छोटा सा एक ड्रीम था for Schindler Group to make it big in one of the world's most populous democracy called India. And with all that dream, our current chairman and CEO was sent to India in 1997. One of the last multinationals to enter the country, when there was giants with 70% market share. I'm sure the startup team at that time, we have of course Ronnie with us and many others who are listening here, would have probably been joked upon, why are you joining Schindler? You don't even know who they are. This was 24 years ago. And you fast forward to today. It's a very, very proud achievement that this month we touched a milestone. Last month, we touched a very, very important milestone of crossing 90,000 units in portfolio. And this is not about touching 90,000 units. This is about how, after being one of the last entrants in the country, we are now at par with the giants who were the giant when we came to India. And that, I think, is possible because of every single one of you here, right from employee number 1, who was our current chairman and CEO, to the newest employee who has joined recently. And ये पूरे दुनिया में हमने दिखाया कि a completely organic growth. There is no acquisition, no third party, पूरा Schindler का automatic door elevators only sold company. And we should all be really, really proud of this achievement. And this goes to every single last mile field employee there in the field who is probably right now attending a call. Probably right now solving a customer problem. And to all their families who have supported us during all these years. And the best part of it is, this has happened by giving opportunities to so many people to grow their ambitions in life. My own boss, who heads Asia Pacific, started as a field technician and today is running one of the important regions for Schindler worldwide. कोई भी है फील्ड में आज जिसको लगता है कि शायद I can never become a manager or a leader? Well, we have an example within us, and there are multiple examples like this. And when I reflect upon what has been happening for the last 12 months, a lot of people looked at the challenges we are facing. And what is the most exciting part is, a lot of the senior experienced people stuck to us during these times. But a lot of other people felt, oh my God, maybe there is something going wrong in the company. Let me find something else. We respect them, but I only want us all to remember this simple thing. You have to experience every cycle of economy, of ups and downs in any organization to be really proud of yourself that I have come out of this and I have learned a lot. If you work in 5 different companies every 2 years, you don't have 10 years experience, is what Simon Sinek says. You have 2 years of experience in 5 companies, not 10 years of experience. And we've seen people, right, every time the company is doing well, they will go there. The next time they have a challenge, they move to the next company, and then the other, and then the other, and then the other. So this is an important lesson for all employees who feel, should I keep changing just to make my life easier? Or do you want to experience ups and downs and make yourself proud that I have been part of this real journey? I think the last 2 years we have all done an MBA from Harvard or Stanford. This is the real MBA. Even if you go to Harvard, they will give you a case study, which you can just discuss solutions. But here, we are writing the case study. This is a true case study being written right now in front of you, and the skill sets, the behaviors, the competencies that we have acquired is what is going to take you further forever. जो भी लोग ये कठिनाई में हमारे साथ सपोर्ट किया है, पहले मैं उनको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं. Thanks to all of those who supported us during these times. I know there was a lot of difficulty, and multiple times we've spoken about it. And I'm sure Paulo, Tobias, and Carla will also share their perspectives when we engage with them. But what's important is how do we take it from here? We have to move from this obsession of growth at all costs to sustainable growth, which you will be hearing soon from us about the strategy going forward. We've been discussing with the KL team this week. We will finalize it soon, and we will be publishing with all of you our journey for the next 3 to 5 years, how to drive growth with a profitable mindset, and for which all of us are important to contribute to this journey. Working efficiently, working smarter, तेजी से काम करना है, time तो उतना ही है. We won't get more time, but how do we every year become smarter and smarter? You know, in 1.5 months, this year will end. December 31st, we close our books, and Jan 1st, the new year begins. And all our challenges are much bigger. The targets are bigger, but you are the same person. And I've said this multiple times. When you go to sleep and you wake up, the targets have increased 15%, 20%, whatever it is. But if you remain the same person without increasing your smartness to that level, you will not be able to achieve. So start thinking from today. What am I going to do different from 1st of January? How do I make myself more competent, more efficient, and more effective so I can deliver something that even what I could not believe myself? And for me, that is something that you can feel proud of yourself, that I've done something I never expected. And that makes people around you very proud. And while we finish the year, let us remember there will be a lot of pressure to complete jobs. Safety, extremely important. Please keep that in back of your mind, no, front of your mind or top of your mind. Every day before you start work, think about what can I do today to make sure I can go home safe every day. This is not about Schindler. This is not about pleasing your managers. This is about your life. And one key aspect that we want to drive going forward is driving the numbers with a purpose, not just driving the numbers. We all know that it's happening today where we hit all our targets. Operation successful, but patient dead. Right? We want patient to not just be alive, but patient to come back super healthy. And that all of us can do if we drive the results with the true sense of its purpose of why it was designed. It's not just about MTBC number being high. Is it really improving quality of service? Is it really improving quality of installation? And I also want to thank everyone that we are very close to achieving 100% on all the performance and development reviews for the year. Very important exercise for us, so thank you all for that. Let me say that it's a very proud moment for us that we have the visitors coming to spend time with us more than what I would call as a review. On that note, I would like to call Paulo Campagna, our Chief Operating Officer, to share his thoughts about his time in Schindler India and his thoughts about Schindler Group and future. Thank you.
Namaste here, and all the colleagues who I understand are now serving our customer as we speak. If I now start with a standard sentence, it's a pleasure being here. Believe me, this time is not a standard. It comes from the heart. And I will come in 5 minutes back why I'm really happy being here. But before I come to that, allow me to start with what I think is very important today. And building on Ashok's comments, I would like to come back to 3 main, what is it, priorities? No. Topics? No. Values. of our company. And if I say our company, I could say Schindler, Schindler Group, Schindler India. For me now is all one, all the same. What are those? All of you know what now comes, right? What is it? Safety. Standard, someone coming from Abicon, CEO of the group talks about safety. No. No. When I say safety now, being a value, it means safety cannot be a target. Safety cannot be a topic. Safety is something all of us, all of you have in our blood. By the way, if we are really safety-driven, we would be protecting ourselves, this we understand. I will be protecting my colleague, and, hold on, I would protect the business and my company. If you think a moment, if you really embrace safety, I like to be safe, means I take care about you. I'm happy if I'm distracted, you take care about me. And together, we take care about the company. I will also come back to why this is important. And you will discover it's very much part of the DNA of the entire company. Quality. Yeah, Paolo talking about quality. Okay. Is quality a topic? Is quality a target? Yes, we have KPIs. We have many quality and FQE colleagues here. If we think in quality, if we have quality in our DNA, we understand that whatever we do and think has to be of a certain quality to ensure we do it safe, but also to ensure all our customers do perceive any service, any interaction with us as superior to anything else. And the secret of differentiation, now I have to shock all our digital natives, innovating colleagues, is all true. This is all part of differentiation. The very first differentiation is that whatever we do for our customers has been perceived by our customers as a superior interaction, service, product, whatever you name. This is quality. Now, let me pause for a second on this one. Are we proud about ourselves at the moment? I have to raise my hand, and I have also to include a word of apologies, especially to all colleagues now, I hope following on the screen. We know that we are making many of your lives very difficult these days. Yes, it's not a secret, we talk openly about. We are facing a difficult period to fix a complexity within our product, which I can promise all of you, we are working day and night to get it fixed as soon as possible. And those of you who are closer to this process, you know we are doing good progresses there. But we cannot be proud about the progress in fixing it. This should never, ever have happened, right? So therefore, accept my apologies. This should never happen. And now with these apologies, I like to include the third. It's not a topic, it's not a target, it's DNA. The drive, the passion, the reason why we are here. Our customers. Now, those of you who know me better, now I can talk till next week. I will not do. Why? All of you, and I can include everyone in the room, but also everyone on the screen, has contributed that despite this quality for a while we should not be very proud about, the very most of our customers, and I can talk worldwide, still do say, you are my preferred partner. Wow. How is it possible? The secret is very simple. This is a superior service delivered by all our fitters, all our technicians, all our front people, colleagues in the branches, colleagues in the headquarters, everywhere, but also here in India, who made it possible that customers still are with us. So when I stay in front of you and say safety is important, quality is important, customer is important, I hope you understand is not 3 bullets, just say it in a town hall. It is something which I think describes very well the DNA of our company. This brings me to close to loop what I was saying before, why I'm happy being here. And actually, Silvio had to leave a bit earlier, but together with Carla and Tobias, we are having a very, very good and intense week. And what I experience here, with some of you I could already exchange today, and you see me smiling, is a unique, uncopied, positive energy. And also this is not just something said in a town hall. Let me elaborate one moment on this. Unique, positive energy. If there's something which is unbeatable in a market for customers, for all of you towards each other, is this. Why? We have colleagues. Employee number 1 was mentioned, not with us today, I know him very well, Silvio Napoli. We have colleagues number, Ronnie, what number do you have? 7. I could shake hands with number 13, 14. Now we can joke about, it makes me so proud. I don't have so many cages I can visit and I shake hands of someone who is here number 7. I can work with number 1 of India. What does it say? I tell you. If there's something which is for me, and now I address it to all the new joiner. I had the opportunity this lunch, I don't know if the colleagues are here, to share with someone. If there's something magic in a company like Schindler, and I like to leave you something you can be proud of, then in India, what I'm going to say is the best example of how it works and how it can be mastered. Namely, to carry on over decades with what is the DNA and what are the core values of a company. This you do with the colleagues who are able to transport what is the core of yourself year on year from employee number 1 till employee, I wish you one day, 10,000. And whoever joins the company can have 6, 7, 8 months, 1 year, Ashok was saying, maybe 2 years, decide, oh, life is easier. But everyone should understand and ask her or himself the question, do I look for an easy life, or do I like to be part of this fluid, continued story, this positive energy which carries on over decades what is the core of a fantastic company? Which can be Schindler Group, but this is far away. I'm now talking specifically of Schindler India. This is unique. This I take with me back to Europe, but I like to leave here for all of you and also to all colleagues in the field. Be aware that this is the power you have with you. And this is the power you have to convey to your customers. By the way, there is among the many one single powerful differentiator. Now I'm going to offend all the techies, all the developers, all the creative salespeople a second time. One single powerful differentiator. Why? By the way, think about when we are customers. What makes us decide to stay with someone almost independently from the price? What is it? It's the person I work with. And I know digital, I know many colleagues try to convince me that very soon elevator business is done online. Yes, 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 I know all the stories. Nonetheless, I'm a truly believer the ultimate final business is made among people. If you combine this with this unique positive energy you have, I have to say, I can only smile. Then the future can only continue being a very successful one. Let me close with one note. Then I know many of you in this week were talking, Paolo, yes, but what is it now? I understand we were growing very fast. Yes, the growth here has been outstanding, and you can be proud of. Yeah, but now we have to do profitability. Yes. To everyone, to make it very simple, profitability is not good and not bad. It's simply the health of an organization. It's like our health. If you are healthy, you don't think about, you just grow. If you are unhealthy, you should cure yourself, then you continue. Now, we can do both. Yes, you can take care about your health and grow. What we do now is nothing else. Use this incredible positive energy and make yourself aware what is needed that I can contribute to a profitable continuation of this success story. And all of you can, I'm sure. Together with Ashok, with the leadership team, we could get to know here. I'm convinced this is a given fact. And with this, I like to conclude with a very, very big thank you for those of you who have spent time with us, very much, but for all the others, for this unique Schindler experience. Everyone can feel here, and I'm sure all our customers do. For this, my personal thank you. It's been great. Get to know you better in India. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Polo, for that wonderful session with everyone. I'm sure everyone watching from branches are still continuing to be with us. Stay with us because we have the most exciting part of the evening, which is the Q&A. I request सभी लोग जो भी questions पूछना है, please आप chat box में questions डालो. And whilst we are waiting for more questions to come, I would request a small introduction from both Carla and Tobias here to talk about what about introducing themselves basically more than anything else. Thank you. Just introducing yourself. Yeah. Just a quick introduction about.
All right. So yeah, good afternoon.
Just check.
Yeah, I think so. Super. Does it work? Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, pleasure to be here. I have been in Mumbai, in an earlier life many times, but it is really exciting, to see how Mumbai has developed, So it was a positive surprise when I landed here, and came at the airport. But what was even a bigger surprise was, really seeing so many engaged people here. I joined the company recently, but I'm leaving with a feeling, that this company is in very good hands. And I realize, that the plans are solid and that you have a good chance, to bring the company in a healthy stage again, or more healthy. It is definitely in a healthy one, but yeah, to digest, what has exactly, to be in full good condition, maybe, with the words of Paolo, to feel fully energized, So thank you also for the warm welcome, It was a pleasure being here. Ashok, thank you.
Also from my side, thank you very much for receiving us. My name is Tobias. I'm responsible for all of you, for all of us, responsible for people. It has been a long time since I've been in India. I recognize some of the people I met in 2009, and that was the last time I've been here. Very happy to be back here. Has been a fantastic visit for us. You're right, Carla, Mumbai has developed incredibly since then. But for me, the most beautiful part is to see all of you, to see the energy Paolo described, to see how you want to strive as a nation, as a person, and as a company. And this is a fantastic thing. I have to say, the most beautiful parts, as always with these visits, is meeting all of you. We had incredible amount of dinners, lunches, possibilities to meet. So thank you, Ashok and team, for organizing. And one thing I would like to do, I had the fantastic opportunity to do a site visit today. So this is a big shout out to Ravindra Kadam, who I had the pleasure to meet today. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, so before we go to the questions online, audience questions, we can start now. So whoever has a question, please raise a hand. It's always the first question, which is tough to get. So who's going to go first?
So, hi, my name is Azhar. My question is, earlier Schindler was it was able to differentiate from competition in terms of material lead time. Like we were able to deliver material within 30, 45 days. And now it has come down from 90 days to 75 days. But are we planning to improve it in coming year?
probably a question that I can answer. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think Schindler India was well known for a 30-day lead time, and now we are in a different situation with 75 days. I'm just looking at Shailesh. So we already know that it is 75 now, and Anuj has promised, I'm sure he may be watching it, to bring it to 60 days from the new year. But yes, that is definitely the plan. We want to get back to much better lead times, but we want to make sure that we will commit whatever we deliver. I don't think it is about 20 days or 30 days anymore. It's about making sure that whatever we say, we deliver even before that slightly. So under promise and over deliver. That I have to thank the group. You know, we have set up a task force which is headed by Paulo and his team, who are meeting regularly to help us achieve these lead times, and the group has been incredibly supportive. We continue to face, of course, some global challenges with some semiconductor issues, but again, the group is driving them to improve the situation. But any couple of words on the global supply chain you want to share, Paulo?
I can. Very much. It's a super important question, and it touches all our heart. I can. First of all, it's not only in India topic, we have it in all our factories. We went up with our lead times, and in many parts of the world, not only here, also in Europe, the short lead time was one of the unique advantage we had. We have lost it, we are bringing it back, number one, yes. Now, Ashok was saying it, it's a special time. I was not talking in my note about it. The beauty of this time is be prepared every day for the unexpected. We face challenges, yes, but if someone believes that we still are facing the same challenge like 8 months ago, it's not true. Then many parts which 8 months ago were impossible to get, we have secured. Parts which 8 months ago we had was easy to find, we don't get now. So, how is the situation? I have to say we manage it with a huge effort, quite okay, and this is the reason why we cannot further reduce faster lead times. Very much semiconductors is still an issue, which, as you know, is hindering us in increasing the production of our inverters, which I hope later status we can come to much more, for much increased production by Q1 next year. But it's true, it is still not at a level. And still semiconductors, among some other topics, is the most intense one.
The one question from Mohammed, which you may probably answer.
Yes.
Is what is the roadmap for the next 2 years for Schindler?
This is a very good question. I repeat it for colleagues. What is the roadmap for Schindler for the next 2 years? And maybe I can address it worldwide, and Ashok, feel free to add specifically for India. I mean, normally you expect to see a roadmap in the light of a worldwide market development. This is, by the way, how all companies in all industries have been leading and planning for the last 20 years. You can imagine today, if I would have this sphere ball to see how the world will develop the next 2 years, would be easy a next 2 years plan. So allow me that I answer not as next 2 years plan, but with the ambition for the next 2 years, which is very clear. And it goes back to what I was mentioning before. Our dedication for the next 2 years is to be the best community of colleagues with the best product, not with the most fancy one, not with the most crazy one, with the best product, to be the best choice for our customers. As simple as it sounds, you can imagine in its details how difficult it is. This is what we like to be. Now you can imagine in some markets we are much more advanced, in some markets less advanced, but as a group, question was Schindler, we have to come back to be the partners of our customers. In many parts of the world we still are. In some parts of the world we have lost a bit of ground. In some other parts of the world we never have achieved this status. We like to be there where we are. By the way, India is a very good example, and you see it here. We like to be the deserved best partner for our customers. And then you can drill down all the single points. It has a lot to do with people, it has a lot to do with performance, it has a lot to do with products, and guess what? I have to mention it, with the planet. A very important pillar of the next 2 years' journey is how we include our CO2 reduction, our decarbonization journey into everything we do. Before, sustainability was just a bullet. Today, and those of you who are more involved in product development, in service development, you will recognize we have committed targets. By the way, already for this year, for 2030, for 2040, a clear roadmap behind, and we are driving sustainability as one of our main priorities for the next 2 years, part of the journey. And you see it, this is nothing else than the famous strategy house built on people, product, performance, and planet, very often mentioned also by Silvio. You like to add something for India specific, Ashok?
Yeah, in alignment with what the group is driving, we want to make sure that we capitalize on the growth we have had the last 24 years. Like I mentioned, in fact, in 2020, for the first time, we became the #1 company in terms of turnover and number of units sold. Now it's important that we reorganize ourselves, like what Paulo mentioned, become more healthy. And when you become more healthy, what happens? We start running faster and more smarter. And what is really amazing, which I'm hearing from many of the FO colleagues, is we were the first company to increase prices. Now everybody is following us. We increases the prices second time, then everybody is following us. So we are again leading in driving a shift in market, which will help us to become not only more profitable, but also grow with this kind of profit levels, which will mean we can invest more in all of you, in giving you better training, resources, compensation, and growth for yourself as well. So, like our chairman was talking about, growth is profit and profit is growth, and that's what we'll be driving to make sure that keeping the core values as fundamentals, we grow the organization along with driving excellent profit. The next question goes to Tobias. Let me just read it out.
Maybe I give it back to Paul.
The question is, what are the few inputs that will help everyone go that extra mile after the challenging times we've had in the recent past?
Thank you very much. First of all, before I answer the question, I will, a big thank you to all of you, because it's true, we have all gone through a tremendous journey. A journey of pain, journey of sorrow, of uncertainty, and I think Schindler India, the whole globe was affected, but Schindler India was affected in particular, and you did fantastically well. And this goes from the KG head to the management team, all the people in the back office, but foremost also the people who went out of their homes every single day. And this is the people in the front line, our people in the field, who went to go and service hospital elevators where COVID was rampant. Thank you very much. Now, the question was, what will motivate? Now, who am I to tell you what's going to motivate you? So I have to tell you, that would be very arrogant if I now would give you 3 points and say, this is it. We are all different, and we should celebrate this difference. Huh? This is why we have such a focus on diversity and inclusion. This is the important thing. We are different. We are not robots. We are human beings, and we should cherish that we are different. Now, I will change the question a little bit and say, what motivates me? And then you can draw your own conclusion what motivates you. What motivates me, first of all and foremost, my family. I'm in a very lucky position. I have a healthy family, 2 wonderful children, a happy wife, I hope. She will be happy when I'm back in 2 days. I hope at least. still have to remember to buy something at the airport, but okay. Now, the second thing which motivates me is I have work I can do in what I believe in. I can do something which I think I can add value. I can touch people, I can have an impact. And I can not do that by myself. I can do that with my team, with Paolo, with Carla, the whole KL, with Silvio, with my direct team of global HR. But this is what motivates me. And the third thing is, and I think that is also very important, there is always a simmer of hope in the next year. So that's my personal thing. Nothing will remain the same. And that is very challenging sometimes. Paolo has mentioned it with regard to supply chain, but also in life it's the same. And I'm not scared of it. Me personally, I like that there is always a new challenge around. Sometimes it's a little bit exhausting, I will not lie to you. I'm tired sometimes, but it's also extremely energizing. So I hope I was able to answer the question like that.
Thank you. There's one more question for you, so maybe you can answer that and go.
Absolutely.
We're very happy to see the efforts by the group on inclusion and diversity, and the team, they're saying thank you so much for that. What actions is the group taking in terms of bringing more non-English people in the senior management worldwide?
So thank you for the question. The important thing about diversity and inclusion, let me start with that. It's not something we should do on a paper or we should do it as an exercise. We should do it because we believe in it. And I firmly do. Why? I'm absolutely convinced that a team who consists of people with different backgrounds, different education, different age, different gender, different nationality, different ethnicity, different sexual orientation, and you can add a list which goes on forever, make better decision in a company. Why is that? Because they have different points of view. I mentioned before, we are all unique, we are all human beings, and the more diverse this is, the better the decision comes. But what is important for that is, if you just have a lot of different people, this does not form a good team. The team has to have a team spirit, and this is why it's called diversity and inclusion, because we have to also to accept that somebody has a different viewpoint. Now to the question, how can we get better? Now let me be very honest. We are a 148-year Swiss company with a strong engineering background. That is probably not Google, huh? We are not, and we have to be aware of that. But we also have to be proud about it, and we have to build on our strengths. And our strength is, we are represented in over 100 countries of this world. And this by itself gives the possibility that people rise through the ranks within Schindler Group. And if you look at our current top management team, the KL, we are pretty diverse. Are we diverse enough? No, you can never be diverse enough. Also, if you look at the board of directors, we have quite a good number of female representatives, but also different backgrounds, different ages. And we want to continue that. Now, there is one specific aspect where we very presently are not good. Also, if I look in this room, the world consists roughly 50% male and 50% female. In this room, this is not the case. In the group, this is not the case. So we have to go better in that. And we are, together with my colleagues in the KL, working on programs, how can we ensure that this gender diversity, which is one part of diversity and not the only one, grows better in Schindler. We're working very hard on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Carla, the next question is for you. There's been a huge boom of startups in India who are, in fact, last year, it was more than US, which is turning unicorns. And a huge focus on valuation, which is based on growth. Now, there's now a focus in Schindler Group and India about driving profitability. There's always a question in our head, what comes first, profit or growth? What's your take on it from your past experiences in other companies, and what should we be doing to be cognizant about this?
Yeah, and thank you for the question. It's actually a good question, and I know that always a number of people are struggling, with that question, because it would be easy if life is black or white, but it is not. It is, we talk about profit and we talk about growth, so we talk about profitable growth. It's not one or the other. And that is also what applying to our business. Obviously, we have to grow, and obviously, we have to improve the profitability. If we don't have both, and we don't close the gap in terms of profit with our main competitors, it's clear that our valuation will suffer. And obviously, you can't compare us, to some of the startups. And I don't know the market in India, Ashok, but I assume that many of them are in the technology.
Yes, fintech,
camp.
e-commerce.
Exact, and that is obviously where the valuation is a bit different, because they are valued a lot on the growth in the first stage of their life. But obviously, at a certain point, they also need to become profitable. So they also have, that question. But obviously, the valuation principles are, played in a different way in the different stages of their life, because they need to first prove that a concept can be scaled. And that's obviously, where the whole, valuation is based on.
Great.
Yeah. So, and once we can close, the gap on profitability is, of course, the pendula will go a bit back into the middle, and, we will have a bit of stronger focus on growth, but not, as Ashok, as you said, at the cost of profitability. Yeah. And I think that brings us also to an important point, how are we going to close the gap in terms of profitability? And I said it also yesterday, there are not that much levers. It is the pricing. We need to optimize the pricing, number one. It might sound like an easy one, but it is not, because of course we have the competition. We know what's going on in the world, so the pressure that is building up on, I would say, the potential to increase the price. But when I say optimize the price, it's also making sure that for all services that we deliver to the customer, that we really ask a price for it. Because sometimes, we still have these areas where we deliver services, but, maybe we don't, price them appropriately, because it's sometimes difficult, facing the customer and say for something we did in the past already for many years for free, to ask now really, a price for it. And the second point is, next to the pricing, it is a question of productivity. It is a question of driving up the efficiency in the organization, because we will have to scale, the business model. And that is an important one. And that is where today some of our competitors are much better. So their productivity, their efficiency is higher. And that's something we all need to reflect on in the whole organization. Whatever area you are in, how can we really drive the efficiency? And that touches really on all activities we do from A to Z. So yes, we have to drive up the productivity in the installation, if it's now new installation or it is the mod business. But it's also in the NI, it's clearly that we also have to look how we can really drive the efficiency in the existing portfolio. And when you go deeper in it, I'm sure you can all come up with a list how we can drive that productivity. But also clearly in the functions, there is lots of potential. And from the finance function, I can also see many opportunities. And one of the opportunities is really scaling the shared service centers. We have a shared service center here in India. I mean, clearly, you can further optimize it. You can further expand the scope of the shared service center. Grab that opportunity, because that is an important one. And I mean, shared service centers are not only covering the finance function, they cover the HR function, so there are a lot of activities in HR that can be covered, but also, you know, in the EI business, in the NI, I mean, on the whole contract management side, and you need to think, what can I bring to the shared service center? You know, because sometimes we tend to believe what we do ourselves is done much better, but obviously that doesn't make any sense. You know, if we look ourselves in the mirror, we know that we are actually lying to ourselves, but yeah, we like to keep control over it. But sometimes other people can take much better control of these things because they focus on it. Yeah.
Great.
And that is, I think, yeah.
Kala, you have one
somewhere
more
where I see
question.
it. Yeah, sure.
Being new at Schindler and still having fresh pair of eyes, what are some immediate areas of development you've observed?
Some immediate
Areas of development you observe.
areas of development. Well, I think we touched on one, on two, that is on the pricing. Much more focus on the pricing is one, but also really, you know, really focusing on the competition
Okay.
and knowing the competition.
Yeah, I
and
think
I
we're very
had a
weak.
discussion, you know, with some of your team members on that one. For me, it goes beyond just, you know, analyzing the numbers that they publish. No, it's actually proactively know what they are focusing on. Strategy, and also their tactical actions. Because as the competition, you know, will strengthen, they will attack our customers. They will attack our portfolio. They will approach our best people. So know that, you know, I'm fighting back. And I think in really tense times, we also need to have a battle card of what we can do. Because we can also turn up as a street fighter, you know. And if they attack our customers, we should be totally ready with our battle cards, what we are going to do with respect to their customers. And I think that is a very important point.
Great.
Yeah. So, yeah, efficiency. I think diversity and inclusion, Tobias, you know, touched already on it. You know, I love to see, you know, when I go to the KGs at a certain point, we will never reach 50-50. And don't get me wrong, you know, I have a lot of respect for the male colleagues here in the room. And I admire, you know, what have you achieved, but it would be great, you know, to see a bit more diversity
Excellent.
also here. Also in Switzerland, by the way.
Thank
know.
you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
There's a couple of questions for Schindler India, which I will take. What are the new challenges that are awaiting for Schindler India in the coming year? You know, when the management team and myself, we spent 2 days in an off-site working on the strategy for the next 2 years. No, we were not planning on getting ourselves promoted. Like, there were a lot of rumors that we're all going overseas for bigger positions and all that. That was not what we were doing. And we were not planning all the changes to make all of you move anywhere else as well. This is the rumors I heard. But I'll tell you what is the biggest challenge we think that will be. It is our mindsets. The 5,000 plus employees mindset. How do we get it all in one unison? How do we give you all a purpose? How do we drive the purpose to get the results? Because if we can drive the core values, automatically the results will be so much better, because we all know and we've all spoken about it. Many people have been sharing with me and to other management team members. In terms of people quality, we have amazing people quality. Not just versus competition, but against even best practice companies. And we often reflect, then why is it not reflecting more in the results? And one thing I feel and the management team feels is, if we can drive the VFOs with its true sense of purpose, the biggest battle is solved. Everything else will start happening. So my request to all of you is, try and have more of a positive frame of mind of finding solutions and not worrying about what happened yesterday or what will happen tomorrow. And that's what we as humans do. Most of the times we are worrying about the past or future, and the present, which is your gift, we forget. So if we can face this, I think the future is excellent for Schindler India and Schindler Group for sure. there was one more question about those employees who have stood by us during these difficult times and who have performed well. What is the company planning about them? I think in the beginning of the town hall, I started with that. I wanted to thank all of them who have stood by us during these difficult times. For sure, recognition will be there. My request is all the branch heads along with the HR teams, regional heads with the HR teams, and all of us in the management team, including myself, we will work to identify each one of you and work out how do we share this gratitude to each one of you in whatever best way possible. Sorry, I can't give you a direct answer right now because it's not that simple. We want to make sure we do a proper way of recognizing everyone who are standing by this organization, of which we are all very proud of. Thank you. Paulo, there's another question which probably you can take. What are the lessons learned from this crisis that we are facing? And are we again going to become, how do we come out of this firefighting mentality and improve?
Wow, this is not a new question, but a good one. And I've heard myself many answers to this. I will use my own answer. What did we learn? First of all, we can start with the practical things. But this I will skip in all of us at our learnings. And allow me to, if I was not thanking everyone for the effort done during the difficult time, it's not that I was forgetting it, but I was sure someone else will pick up on it. And for me, it's less about saying thank you, which Tobias has done in all rightness. For me, it's much more to recognize for a period, the whole world was in the same situation. And many of us, we know, many of us we don't know, might have been more or less in a difficult moment in life. Many of us have even lost relatives. Some countries have suffered many deaths. India was one of those. I have family in Italy, you might have followed. Italy was one of those at the beginning of the pandemic. So therefore I think, allow me personal note, COVID has changed the world. What have we learned? All of us have our personal learnings. I would say the most important for me is, and I take my personal learning, I became even more humble. To recognize every day of the week, every month of the year, it's not normal that we are here. How great is what we have. Tobias was saying, happy about the challenge next year, but it is next year. You see me smiling, I'm always so impressed, I was sharing this in some meetings with some of you the last days, how much we admire problems. Hello? After COVID, we admire problems? Hello? So you ask me what we learned, I ask what did you learn from COVID? Therefore, if I've missed thanking everyone, it's not that I do not thank from the bottom of my heart each and every of our technicians which have been on the street serving our customers, each of you behind the screen, hours and hours talking to colleagues. This I can do, but my message goes deep to the heart. Do we really have learned something out of COVID? Yes, we did. As a company, we became humble. We learned out of COVID what we were doing wrong. This brutal growth in despite of any consequence. Without COVID, we might not have learned what it means. Hold on, stop, look at yourself, be humble. Is that what you want? Is what you like? Is this good for your employees? Is it good for your customer? No, it's not. Stop. Second lesson learned. Learn to say stop. COVID was stopping the world. How many of us could not stop before? I raised my hand. How many companies could not stop? I raised a hand on behalf of the management team of Schindler. Second lesson learned. This may be a bit of special lesson learned. Huh? Learn to say stop. Third lesson learned. This company, and this is a sharing more than a lesson, is 148 years old. India, 24 years old. I was sharing this before with colleagues of you. 148 years, what does it mean? this fantastic company, and think about what I was sharing before, this famous carry-on of energy, decades by decades, employee to employee, 150 years. How many generations of employees have carried on with the culture, with the good spirits of the DNA this company? World Wars, 2. Pandemic, you cannot name them. Catastrophes, you cannot name them. And the company, Schindler, after each of those came stronger, became bigger, was growing. Colleagues were stronger. And COVID is another terrible moment in history. Books will have an own chapter on it. But we as a company, as a community, came stronger out of it. So the third learning is there's nothing which can excuse not being as successful as, I repeat myself, the best service we can offer to our customers would allow us to be. So this would be my summary. I think COVID has learned us, has taught us there is a next year, and the next year will be better than the previous year if we just stick to what all thousands of colleagues have done the last 148 years. Or in your case, number 1, number 7, number 13, 14, 17, I don't know what is in the room, has started to do till number 5,000, I don't know what we have today. Think about that. This should be the learning. Just step back and think, what did, beside of the terrible experience I do not like to talk about, COVID did to us, what should have taught us?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings the end of the Q&A session. And before we close, I just want all of us to again reflect on this journey that we're going through. And I must tell you that from the time this year started to now, we're starting to do a lot of things positive. A big shout out to all the employees in the office and in the field who have worked on this incremental improvement, and we are seeing that incremental improvement. Next year, we want to show exponential improvement, which I know all of you can do. And while we finish the year, let us finish the year with a lot of gratitude. Not many people in the world have this life that we all lead. And COVID has taught us that, how thankful we have to be for everything we have in life. Yes, we can always get more in life. Are we perfect? No. In Schindler, do we do everything correct? We aim, but we may not be. We make mistakes. But one thing we can make a promise to each other is to listen to each other, to escalate problems to us so that we can work with you and solve you. We will make mistakes, but we are here. We are here with you to solve it together and make this a wonderful organization. On behalf of management team, thanks to everyone, and on behalf of management, thanks for your commitment to fight through these times. Let me also take the opportunity to, on behalf of Schindler India team, thank all of you guys here who came from Switzerland. It means a lot to everyone, I know that. They have loved the engagement, and we hope to see you all again next year. So I'm wishing everyone a very safe year ending, and look forward to interacting with all of you soon, including maybe the 2020 Jashan, maybe soon in 2023, the annual celebration, which we will hope to have the next few months and celebrate the success of past, present, and future. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.